Hello everyone, my name is Silverweed and welcome! Today we're gonna count down the top 40 racing dragons. This is a full list on every dragon released so far, ranking from the slowest to the fastest. And don't leave a comment saying you missed that and that dragon, because when this video got out, this was all the dragons that were released. I will probably eventually do an update when enough new dragons come out, but this is it for now. This is based on test racing. I raced 3 levels with every single dragon on the same level. I picked out Forbidding Eyes, then I calculated the time of those 3 levels, and then I got the average, and that was my result. So this is based on time, and it's the most accurate list you can get on racing speed. But these are just guidelines, nothing is set in stone. It's just to kind of help you pick out the fastest dragon. So let's get right to it. Number 41. Wait, what? Oh, right. The Speed Stinger. This guy is not gonna be ranked here because he can't fly. Number 40. The Prego Boggle. This is really strange because there's not really anything about this dragon that should be slow or anything. It's a pretty slim dragon, it should be fast, but it ranked really badly, and it got the slowest score of every single dragon in School of Dragons, which is rather surprising, but nonetheless, that's the result. Number 39. The Rumblehorn. This one hurts my heart so much because I love the Rumblehorn. It's one of my absolute favorite dragons, but it's just not that good of a racing dragon at all. Number 38. The Snaptrapper. The Snaptrapper has a really amazing model and is a really gorgeous dragon, but it is not that fast, and who can blame it? It has 4 heads to make up for and a really wide body, so I believe it makes sense that it wouldn't be that fast. Number 37. The SnapofFang. The SnapofFang is a pretty big dragon, has a lot of mass to carry around. It's a boulder class dragon, they're normally not that fast, so I think it's fair to be ranked this low on the list. It's still a really cute and gorgeous dragon though. Number 36. The Raincutter. The Raincutter was believed to be fast. I believed it was fast, but it didn't get any good score at all. And it doesn't make much sense to me because it's called the Raincutter, so it should be like a strong dragon, right? You can just cut through rain without a problem, but nonetheless, it turns out it's not that fast. Number 35. The Hubble Grunt. The Hubble Grunt is very similar to the Raincutter, so I guess it makes somewhat sense for them to be ranked this close to each other, but still a pretty slim dragon. It should be fast, and it's kind of disappointing because I like the model of these guys, but this is the result they got. Number 34. The Whispering Death. The Whispering Death was believed to be a fast dragon by a few people, me included. It had a pretty decent speed on its stat card, but nonetheless it wasn't that fast at all, and it kind of makes sense because it's a boulder class dragon. It lives on the ground and has really small wings and a big head, and it is also a beginner dragon. It's the one that you can pick out in the very start of the game, and those are generally just not that fast. Number 33. The Tide Glider. The Tide Glider I believe to be pretty fast because it has a very streamlined body and it swims around, so it should be pretty elegant and fast, but it really isn't based on my results. Number 32. The Hideous Cybil. For the Hideous Cybil to be ranked this high on the list, considering it's a beginner's dragon and a pretty big dragon, is actually really surprising, so I think that's a rather decent placement. Number 31. The Smothering Smokebreath. This dragon is pretty small, and it also has to carry around a rider that is almost the same size as itself when it's racing, so I think it's fairly fair for it to have this placement. Number 30. The Mold Ruffle. The Mold Ruffle is one of my favorite dragons. It has a really gorgeous design. Even though it's a game developer dragon, it's only seen in School of Dragons. It's still a really cool dragon, but also a big dragon that is kind of similar to the SnapofFang, so it didn't rank that high. Number 29. The Screaming Death. This dragon was believed to be rather fast by the community, but as it turns out, it isn't that great. It still has a decent placement, but considering its huge size and small wings, just like the Whispering Death, it makes sense. Number 28. The Change Ring. The Change Ring has a gorgeous design in many ways and I really like it. There's a lot of features that I found very appealing, but it doesn't fly that fast. Number 27. The Deadly Nadder. This is really surprising because the Deadly Nadder is in the series, in the movie, in the entire franchise considered a really fast dragon. One that can almost keep up with a Night Fury, but in game it really isn't that fast at all, which is rather disappointing. Number 26. The Gruncicle. The Gruncicle is faster than the Deadly Nadder. How on earth did this happen? I couldn't believe these results, so I did the whole thing over again. I got 2 different test results with the Gruncicle, but this is what it is. This was the result I got, and in game, the Gruncicle is faster than the Deadly Nadder from the results I got, which is really, really strange. But hey, what do you know? It turns out the Gruncicle is actually a pretty decent speed. Number 25. The Scuttleclaw. The Scuttleclaw is also one of my favorites. A really lovable dragon, a big dragon with a gorgeous design, but not that fast of a dragon. And it is a really big dragon after all, so it is fair for it to have this placement. Number 24. The Hot Burble. This big, Gruncicle-like fat dragon actually made it this far up the list, which is rather surprising. Number 23. The Fireworm Queen. The Fireworm Queen is a fan favorite and I really personally love it too, but as it turns out it is not that fast and it's definitely not in the leading league, which is disappointing to me because it's a really gorgeous dragon. Number 22. The Boneknapper. This dragon is also one that is very highly loved by the fans and I personally really love it. It has a gorgeous model and it looks amazing, but considering it has all those bones to carry around all the time, I think it's fair to give it this placement. Number 21. The Devilish Dervish. This is really surprising because this is the first coin-based dragon, but it still has a pretty decent speed, so even if you don't have gems you can buy this guy and you can still have a decent chance in racing. Number 20. The Monsterous Nightmare. This is one of the favorite beginners dragon. There's a lot of them around in school and it is a really nice recognizable dragon which is very gorgeous in many ways. And it is right in the middle of the list, which is decent for a beginner's dragon. Number 19. The Stormcutter. The Stormcutter was one I believe to be a really fast dragon. I was counting on making it my fastest dragon, but after my test results, it's not that fast at all, and I was really disappointed by this. Number 18. The Typhoomerang. I used to believe this guy was pretty slow and not that decent of a racer, but as it turns out, it's pretty good. It's even better than the Stormcutter, so it has a very decent placing. Number 17. The Sliquifier. The Sliquifier was also one I didn't have high hopes for, but it is pretty high on the list and it's a cute little dragon, so I have nothing against that. Number 16. The Groncicle. The Groncicle has never been one of my favorites, but it is pretty fast. Number 15. The Sweet Death. Yes! This weird earthworm boulder class dragon actually made it this far up the list, which is pretty surprising and also kinda amazing. Number 14. The Thunderdrum. The Thunderdrum is a gorgeous and very recognizable dragon and, as it turns out, also a pretty fast dragon. Number 13. The Razorwhip. Again, the Razorwhip was also one of the dragons I considered to be the fastest in the game, but as it turns out it isn't at all and it kind of bums me out, but it's still a really, really lovely dragon. Number 12. The Grapple Grounder. The Grapple Grounder has never been one of my favorites, and to see it this high up on the list kinda gets me on the edge. But nonetheless, it is a pretty decent racer. Number 11. The Mudraker. Again, one of the dragons I was strongly against makes it this far up the list. Although the Mudraker is a dragon that has grown on me and I actually think it's kinda adorable by now, so I don't mind as much. Now we are moving up to the top 10. These are the absolute leading league dragons and the fastest you can get in School of Dragons. Number 10. The Death Song. This dragon is probably one of the absolute favorite dragons in the community. It was highly anticipated, and when it finally got there, everybody was so excited about it. I personally also really enjoy this dragon. It's very beautiful and a pretty decent racer. Number 9. The Scuttleclaw. This cute baby looking dragon actually made it pretty far and is a really fast dragon, which I am very excited about because it has my favorite model and it just looks overall amazing. Number 8. The Shiver Tooth. From the very get-go, this was a really fast dragon and people was very surprised by the speed of this guy, and he actually made it pretty far up the list. So a really fast and decent dragon. Number 7. The Skrill. Ever since the beginning of the game, the Skrill has been considered to be one of the absolute fastest dragons, but after rebalancing stats and changing speeds and new dragons came along, this guy is actually pretty far down the list, which I find kind of upsetting because the Skrill is an absolute fantastic dragon. Number 6. The Flightmare. The Flightmare was never a dragon I considered to be very fast, but as it turns out, this guy is really fast, so don't mess with the Flightmare. Number 5. The Woolly Howl. I don't think this comes as a surprise to anyone. This guy has always been considered really fast, and I don't mind seeing him this high up on the list because he's a very gorgeous dragon. Number 4. The Shockjaw. The Shockjaw was also considered a really fast dragon right from the time it got out, and it really is a really speedy dragon. Number 3. The Sand Wraith. This is an absolute fan favorite dragon, with myself included. It's a really gorgeous dragon. It looks a lot like Toothless and it's really adorable and also really fast. One of the absolute fastest racing dragons in game. Number 2. Toothless the Night Fury. Yes, you heard right. Toothless is number 2. Toothless the Night Fury is a very fast dragon, but not as fast as the... Number 1. The Snow Wraith. The Snow Wraith actually managed to pass Toothless and is currently the fastest dragon in School of Dragons. It's really amazing to see a dragon that was able to surpass Toothless. The Snow Wraith is not one of my favorites when it comes to look, but I still gotta give it credit for being faster than Toothless. That is absolutely amazing. That's all for this list, guys, and please remember that these are just kind of guidelines. Everything can matter when you're out there racing, and if you're a good rider, you can beat a Night Fury with a Gruncicle. It's really about the rider and not so much about the dragon, as I've always said. But this was just guidelines to help you guys pick out your favorite dragon. Hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to leave a like if you did. If you want to see more top videos, maybe not top 40 but top 10s or something, leave your suggestion in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. So long, Dragon Riders!